Hello, my name is Gemma, and this is your podcast, Cosmic Woman. Make yourself feel right at home. Allow your heart to expand and your mind to be at peace. We are all one. That's why this is an invitation to listen with your whole being, as if it was you telling your own narrative. Make each episode an opportunity to ask yourself, who am I being as I listen? I bring this podcast to you with so much love and devotion. That love that is you. Today, I want to talk to you about something I've had to learn myself, with love, but also with a lot of resistance: the art of receiving. For years, like many women, I was trained to give, to hold, to do. And every time something was offered to me, a helping hand, a compliment, a gift, even rest, my first impulse was to reject it or to justify it. Has that happened to you? Do you find it difficult to receive without feeling guilty? Today we're opening up that space because receiving is, like everything in this world, sacred. It's also feminine and it's also spiritual. From a young age, we were taught that being a good girl meant giving, sacrificing for others, being available, and keeping quiet. I remember schoolmates who were forced to make their own beds and their brothers' beds every morning before school. Some complained about having to do these things while the brothers didn't, and others simply accepted that's how it was and didn't question anything. Later on, I've seen these women of my generation tear themselves apart caring for children, husbands, and the house, whilst also working outside the home in the name of progress. These are my true heroines, daughters of patriarchy and victims of the female ancestors who had to accept it as a way of life, as that's how things are because they've always been done that way, as a mode of survival, forgetting what their own ancestors taught them. We've sometimes been our own worst enemies. The patriarchy has been so well structured that it even managed to turn us against ourselves. We've been the most sexist, the most transgressive, the ones who've put up with the most in the name of false love. We've seen this system's way of doing things on other occasions. Take 2020 as an example, where we were all pitted against each other. It's an intelligent and artificial system. And I open brackets, artificial because it has no soul, and intelligent because it uses knowledge of the human psyche for its manipulative execution on human minds, which are by nature innocent. Close brackets. Although for me, that's not intelligence, really. In reality, it's programming. But anyway, that takes us away from today's topic. This kind of manipulation pits everyone against everyone else. It divides into two. Each of these groups is also divided. Each of these division is also divided, and so on. That's how life really works. And so in the end, everyone is left alone. And this isn't good or bad. As I say, I believe from my own observation that this is how life works. But when it's not used for the common good, it can cause great psychological and social havoc. Coming back to the subject at hand, extreme care for others to the detriment of forgetting oneself, driven by sacrifice and devotion, has led to the term care being misused, forgotten, and becoming the cause of something one doesn't want to do, because caring entails selfless devotion and forgetting oneself. They've etched this into our psyche with molten iron. Caring also means I have to forget about other parts of myself because I can't care for others if I care for myself. Society disapproves of that. And so little by little, we forget about ourselves. At the same time, in recent decades, the concept of production has been introduced. If we don't produce, we're not valuable. Both women and men are measured by what they can produce, thus becoming a number, a slave to their own ignorance. Increasingly, domestic tasks have been devalued, becoming one of the hardest and worst paid jobs in our society, as well as the most looked down upon. Caregiving, the home, all relegated to nothingness. And if a woman doesn't work outside, we wonder why. And if she does work outside, we don't ask if she has time for herself because nobody cares about that. But heaven forbid she misses a day of what she's supposed to do, or will judge her forever for that small slip up. We've created a society where producing has become more important than caring, where if I care for you, I love you, but I don't produce, I'm not worthy of existing and have nothing to offer. Therefore, I'm not worthy of love simply for being. I've experienced that firsthand. And it leaves a very difficult traumatic mark to heal. Receiving is an art and also a permission we have to find within ourselves and not seek outside. We've become accustomed to others allowing us to rest, receive, and care for ourselves. Who hasn't felt guilty for being tired or ill? Or perhaps you were made to feel that way, a look, an accusing gesture that pierced your soul, reminding you of that same look, that same gesture from mom or dad, or whoever judged you as a child and wouldn't let you be. That guilt unravels us because the feminine body is designed to receive, to self-nourish in order to gestate and give life, whether to another human being or to your projects. We are cyclical, not linear, and the patriarchal system formed by erratic, repetitive, and executable routines from the time and space of the matrix has not been designed for us, women. We should be connected with the time of the cosmos, which has no time, which is timeless and moves at its own pace. Information should come from our own connection with vital, divine, cosmic energy, not from programming and the perpetuation of control and linearity. Women are receptive. We receive information and channel energy that guides our path. That's how we're designed. But the world demands we forget that and just do relentlessly at the dislocated and frenzied pace of the control matrix clock where we live. Perhaps if we do things from that intuition, from that connection, we would do the same or perhaps more, but the disconnection from our essence, from our divinity, from our cosmic power disturbs us, confuses us, bogs us down and exhausts us. And fears of being abandoned or judged limit us even more. If I don't produce, I don't deserve, and therefore they'll stop loving me and abandon me. And that fear of some idea that someone has the power to abandon us frightens us, when in reality we're already alone. And this goes for everyone, not just women. And these wounds aren't even ours. We're connected to the collective unconscious that feeds on these wounds to continue functioning from that unconscious. And it hurts us because it hurts everyone simply by being here. But we can change all of this one by one. If we learn to say no when we want to say no, if we learn to say yes when we mean to say yes, if we learn to feel the whisper of the feminine soul again, which shouts that you are eternal, valuable simply for existing, that you don't need anyone to validate you because your value has been distorted. You are valuable simply by existing. Your value isn't in the clothes you wear, the job you have, the possessions you own, or even your physical body. Your true value is your spaciousness, your eternal being, your cosmic being, that being that inhabits you and has a body, because you are not a body with a soul. You are pure consciousness inhabiting a body with a mind, and that is your true value. And that being, which is one with the universe and the same, needs neither external validation nor external approval to be or do as it pleases. The limitations are self-imposed if you want to. You define your values. That's how it should be. And we all can learn to be that being who wants to live from freedom and not from the impositions of an archaic and enslaving system. Receiving is an act of self-love. Receiving information from the universe or allowing yourself to rest when you need it is self-love. And if you don't love yourself, I guarantee no one else will do it for you. We have only one obligation in this world, and that is to care for the avatar that has been given to us. The avatar, the organic garment that is your body, mind, and which is yours, not you. You are cosmic, woman, cosmic like the universe itself. You are the entire universe experiencing itself through your body, mind. But you are not the body. Your body and your mind are in you so that you can live the experience here on this earthly plane. And your being, the one that has a body mind, wants to live the experience without the artificial and imposing limitations that have fallen upon us from light years of conditioning and programming. You are already cosmic. You don't have to do anything to be so. Simply keep shedding layers, keep breaking down barriers, keep disarming the self-created ego to protect you from the light that you are. Receiving is an act of self-love, as I said. It's telling the universe, I trust, I open myself, I allow myself to be supported by the invisible, eternal, and permanent force that I am. Let no one deceive you any longer in the name of spirituality and consciousness. Everything is spiritual and everything is consciousness. Everything is sacred. You are no more conscious, more spiritual, or more sacred because you sacrifice yourself and forget about yourself. On the contrary, when we do that, when we forget ourselves and put others first, the universe abandons us because it reflects what you are and gives you what you project. When you care for yourself and put yourself first, the universe cares for you and gives you more of what you do for yourself. And from there, only from there, when you are full of yourself, of your essence, then doing things for others is not an act of sacrifice or enslavement, but a part of you. Because you overflow with so much love for yourself that it unfolds like the midnight wind towards others, not as separate entities, but as part of you. What you do for yourself, you do for all, because we are all one. Thank you for joining me and giving yourself to this experience. You can find all platforms for this podcast in the description, so please subscribe to the ones you like the most. Your essence is cosmic. You are a celestial being, a cosmic traveler, a vessel for the light and pure consciousness. With all my love.